Back to the channel. I'm Lady Nika, and with Saturday's episode of Iyanla Fix My Life. It was a really good episode. I enjoyed watching it because I had been wondering, since the death of Philando Castile, what exactly had gone on with, what happened to the girlfriend Diamond Reynolds, what happened to the baby that was in the back seat, what was going on in their lives. And this was an opportunity for all of us who had remembered the story and wanted to know exactly where this girl was and what was happening in her life, the opportunity to be able to know exactly where she was and what had been going on in her life since he died. Now, she reached out to Iyanla because she wanted to learn to deal with certain situations and not be so guarded all the time. She admits she has built a wall up ever since her fiance was murdered right before her eyes. We learned a little bit of background about Philando and Diamond. They actually been in each other's lives for 10 years, but for the last 4 years, they were, in this relationship and due to get married. Now, Iyanla's first question to her is, who are you now since his death? She said she was a mother, a daughter, and Iyanla said, you are also a woman who experienced a lot of trauma, to which she agreed. She said she's human and she feels she don't add up to others' expectation. So then Iyanla asked her, what about Philando? Did he live up to the expectations of others? And she said, yes. He lived up to his mom's expectation because she raised him well. And for her, he brought stability and structure into her life. She said losing Philando felt like she lost herself because with him, she felt she had purpose and confidence, something she'd never had before. He made her feel beautiful and he made her feel wanted. The day of the murder, she recalls him getting up like any other regular day, and because they do live in a high crime, drug infested area where people would do something to you for the smallest thing, such as maybe a pair of tennis shoes or a chain, he got his gun, and it was simply for the protection of them, not to do anything to anyone else. Iyanla asked her, where was your mother when all of this was, as all of this transpired? And she said that her mother moved. Well, her mom was living in Indiana, but she had since moved back since Phil's death. Iyanla said that he didn't pass away; he was taken away, and the whole time, to me, she was very emotional. But she finally said the words that he was murdered. He was murdered, and Iyanla asked her, "Can you sit in that?" And she said no, because she still can't put the R.I.P. into the front of his name. She can't accept the fact that her beloved Philando is no longer there. Iyanla asked her why she said she can't, because it's because it comes. She said to her, if she say it, it becomes real. And then she asked her, how long has he been gone? And she said 468 days. Now, child, I probably would have said a year and a half or a little over a year. This lady is actually counting the days that this man has been gone. And she's doing that because that's all she knew. She said for 365 days, 7 days a week, for all that time, they were together 4 years, you know. And for him to be gone, it's hard to believe. And then when she turned her TV on and she see killing of others on TV, it hurts because she never thought that she would be in this position. You see it on TV and you think never me, but you never know when it may be your turn to be the spotlight on a TV, on a news segment on TV. You never know when that could be you. We go into recalling the incident and how everything went down that day, with the daughter and all of that. And I ain't gonna go into all of that because that was just too damn sad. I did do a video about it, and I'll link it down in the description box if I can remember, and you can go back and watch it because I talk about it in depthly then. Um, Bottom line is, this man died when he was actually following the law. He was still shot. Her daughter was traumatized, and she was traumatized. Iyanla began to work on her by making her verbalize what happened to her. And in a lot of times, that is a good thing because we'll know something is true, But once you verbalize it, it's like, okay, now I can move on. I can begin to heal from this. Because long as you still somewhat not even able to speak it, you're in denial. And you can't move on if you're living in denial. So she had her tell her that, he was taken away from her, basically. And someone she loved was taken away, and that her and her daughter will be scarred for the rest of her life. However, today she reclaimed her life and not going to allow that situation to take her life. Iyanla explained that the cop has to live with what he did as well for the rest of his life, but she don't have to live in it. He gonna have to live in it. She asked her a few questions. The question was, do you still remember seeing Philando after he was shot, how he fell back? She said yes. Iyanla said, and so does that cop. She asked her, what did she ask her next? She asked her, do you still hear the gunshot? She said yes. Iyanla said, so does that cop. Do you still see the blood? She said yes. Iyanla said, so does that cop. Everything that you're feel, do you still hear your child scream? Yes. So does he. He's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life, but you do not. She told Diamond you can still love him and have your memories and not allow what happened to him to be the main event. She said, what if Philando was the shadow and the main event is yet to come? She asked Diamond if you're willing to keep your memories but live beyond the tragedy of loving and losing him. And she said yes. She just not sure how. And Iyanla said, well, I can teach you if you're willing to open up for this process. And she said yes, which took us into day 2 at the healing house, where Trayvon Martin's mom, Sabrina, came to the healing house to show Diamond that there's life after. It's been 5 years since Trayvon's murder. Sabrina said that it still feels like it's only been 6 months at best for her. She still lives the trauma, but she handles it better today. And that's what she wants to see happen for Diamond. She explains that her strength didn't come overnight, that she still has a relationship with her child even though he's not there anymore. She said she realized before Trayvon, people didn't understand because of his death. More eyes have been opened in education and training to all races, because before these folks were cops, they were human beings. And diversity training, sensitivity training, regardless of the race and the skin color, everybody has a right to live. She said these officers today, some, not all, aren't arresting these men and women of color and allowing due process to occur. They are they're taking it into their own hands to take a life of this individual. And she said because it happens so much, we have become desensitized also, almost in a sense, and that is not a good thing for this world to become desensitized to. We're losing their humanity all the way around, in my opinion. Iyanla said that Diamond is trying, but she was the girlfriend. So many people are looking to the mom, but forgetting that Diamond and her daughter were actually in that car that day. And then she was separated at some point from her daughter, and now she's coping. She's trying to cope, but it ain't working as well. She said it's been a little bit over a year since this tragedy happened, and this woman is still like living as if this just happened yesterday. Iyanla tells Sabrina she ain't know why, and she didn't know what she was gonna say, but she felt like Sabrina was the ideal person that not Diamond needed to speak with. So they bring in Diamond to meet Sabrina, and Sabrina said she wanted to bring some positivity to this girl because she is now an advocate, and she advised Diamond that she needs to find a support group in her area. Surround herself with people, positive people, who have been there in a situation that she in. She said from the positive people, you take something from them and leave the negative alone. Draw your strength only from the positive people in your life. She also said to Diamond that she found a favorite Bible scripture to help her, and it's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. She said even though she didn't understand what had happened to her son, she needed to open her eyes, and that God was directing her to do something bigger. Out of the midst of her tragedy came some success and some healing. She admits that she kept climbing, even though she didn't apply for that job. She kept going forward. She didn't stop, and she didn't live in the moment of what happened to Trayvon. She kept being. It seemed like something was constantly being put on her and in her spirit for her to learn from this moment and for her to be able to give back to others. She wanted her son back though. She wanted all of her family and everything to go back to the way it was. But she said God was pulling her in a different direction. And to Diamond, she said, I don't know why God chose you, but you have to find out that purpose. And that's the only comfort. She said she could hold Diamond's hand, but she'll eventually have to go back home. Diamond has to trust and believe in God to send her where she needs to go in this situation. Now, let me say, I do realize that all do not believe, and that's fine. But this will be this is a situation where if you are a believer, you are going to have to lean onto that faith for understanding and for guidance on how to get past it. I understand everybody that watch my videos is not a believer, and that's fine. You don't have to. That is a private affair between you and whoever you believe oversees your life in this world. But I do ask that you don't get in the panic section and throw that down in there. Normally, I let y'all reign free on this channel. You can say pretty much anything you want to, long as you say it respectfully. But because this is such a sensitive subject, and this is something these people, especially this girl, is still living with, and we never know who gonna be watching our videos, we're not going to do the disrespect thing today on this video. I noticed that in some of my previous videos, people do be getting down there and y'all be trying to go a little too far. Not my real love things, but some of these people do be trying it. And it's very easy to click off a video if you don't like what the content is. You don't have to leave no comment about how you don't appreciate or don't believe or believe in, don't want to hear about somebody believing in white Jesus, because you don't know which Jesus that we believe in. You don't know what we believe in. All you hearing is me saying the creator, God, Jesus. That's all you hearing. And so you don't know who I equate that to be in my mind. So because of that, because you don't believe, I'm not knocking you for that. I'm just asking you to be respectful in the comments when you talk about this. Because I notice when I talk about anything that remotely relates to religion, people get in their feelings. Now, those are subjects that put people in their feelings. But here today on this platform, your feelings don't really matter to me. I'm giving a review based off what I saw and my interpretation of it. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to believe what's being told to Diamond to believe. You don't have to believe shit. You can believe whatever the hell it is you want to believe. All I'm saying is I don't need to know about it if it's a negative thing, and I ask that you not put that in my comments. That's it. Now, voice your feelings respectfully, but my block hand strong. We're not going to be disrespectful to what others may believe in, okay? I ain't knocking you for being an atheist or a non-believer. Don't knock me for my belief and how I bring my review to this platform that I built. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Moving on. Sabrina says she also don't understand it because when she needed help, when she said she don't understand her purpose sometimes, because when she started helping other mothers and people like Diamond, she found that she began to heal. So even though it's all a mystery, out of the depth of a tragedy came something that would help other people as well as Sabrina lived through a major tragedy such as losing her son the way she did. Diamond, who cried throughout this whole show, said she was honored to be in Sabrina's presence. She hugged her. And for Diamond, Miss Sabrina represents life after the pain. She can only get there if she's willing to move beyond that moment where Philando's life was taken. Now, Iyanla said in order for Diamond to begin to really heal, she needed to come face to face with a representative from the group that caused her loss. So Iyanla invited a retired police officer to come speak to her. Now, before she actually put Diamond and this guy Corey Pegas in the same room, she had a little conversation with Mr. Pegas. Okay, she said to him that there's a major mistrust of people towards police and police toward people. When we as people see with our eyes and hear with our ears, yet police try to tell us it's not what you think. She mentions Philando and Tamir Rice. He called them horrific, their murders horrific, and said police officers have to be vetted. Iyanla said that her 12-year-old son knows his history. He knows he is the descendants of kings and queens. But how do I teach him to hold his head high and be who he is in a world, except when it comes to police, he got to bow his head in order to possibly have a chance at survival. Corey said you tell him to be proud of who he is, and not every police officer he encounters is bad. The goal is to get him home safe every night. Civilians got to stop giving cops an excuse, and Iyanla stopped him there because she was ready to go in, but he asked her to please just listen to me, hear me out. He said when there's a shooting, civilians say the cop needs more training. He says that as a former cop with 21 years of training, they don't need no additional training. They got all the training that they need. He said we need to figure out why they not utilizing the training because they have exceptional training within the police department. Iyanla says that they human beings, and when you put a gun in the hand of someone who has fear, there's gonna be problems. Corey said holding the officer accountable because he has been trained. They didn't use that training in that moment, and somebody ends up dead. That's what he meant by civilians not saying an officer lack training because they do lack training. But when there is an officer involved shooting and civilians come out saying, they need to be better trained. No, they don't. They need to be held accountable for the training that they've already received because they received the best training. They just did. We need to know why you didn't utilize that and why are you in fear. And he admitted not all cops need to be cops either. Some people just are not, they not built for it. So that's what he meant about that. I was like, child, I was about to go off on him my damn self. Um, she asked him would he be willing to be their representative in that moment for Diamond, and he said yes. This gonna give her an opportunity to learn how to respond in the presence of police, and hopefully she will begin to let go of the trauma of reliving daily what happened between herself and these police officers when her fiance was murdered in her face. Iyanla asked if she's afraid of it, and she said she what is she afraid of when she came in the room. She said she afraid of dying, and she affiliates death with police because of what she went through. Corey said in New York they have victims like Diamond who come to speak to police officers. She would tell them in their face how she feels and who Philando really was. So then Iyanla said, "What if they refuse to speak to her?" And Corey said, "And risk the chance that this will go public and they'll really be scrutinized by the public." No, they would do that. They wouldn't want the backlash of the public knowing that they didn't want to communicate with a victim. And Diamond said no one from the police department in her area has reached out to her. They only reached out to the mother. And Corey found that to be a little bit astounding because, yes, the mother deserves a conversation and an opportunity to speak her voice to the police department in their area, but Diamond was the one that was in the car. She was the one that experienced the most trauma from this. He said we got to fix this and police need to do better. Corey said that Philando is dead, and in his opinion, because that cop was afraid, point blank period. He said it wasn't a black or white thing. I disagree because fear what? Our blackness, because black is supposed to be so bad, and that is what they are taught some people in their home, that black means the worst of the worst. Corey said people like herself, Diamond, and Iyanla are and the honest dialogue that they are having is what needs to be happening across the board to bring about change. Then the next stage was a meeting with where Diamond meets this lady named Lindsay, who is trained to help her push out all the negative feelings Diamond still has inside of her. They use this tapping thing to help her deal with the traumatization of what happened with Philando. And child, it seemed like it worked because she began to have a voice, and that's something she didn't have for the longest time. She was able to say, he was taken away from me, he was murdered, but I can live on, and I can live on with my memories, the good ones of him, and not fester in this moment where his life was taken unjustly at the hands of laws. And it seemed like it helped her. This person, Lindsay, was supposed to, help her remember Philando without the trauma and the sadness on how he died. So Lindsay had her take a deep breath, and like I said, they did all of that. And you saw a real breakthrough. And what I got out of there was now that she has gained some tools that she needs, she'll be able to move on with her life. She ain't never gonna forget it, but it ain't got to be the forefront memory of Philando. Damn. The only memory that she got of Philando. It ain't gotta be like that because there is life after pain, and she's seeing that. I think she will be okay going forward. She now has the support of Sabrina, who is Trayvon Martin's mom. She's got probably reached out to an advocate center in her area or group so she can join it and talk with them, other people like herself, so that healing can truly happen for this lady and she can stop living in that day that Philando's life was taken and just live on being a stronger person, understanding her purpose in life, continuing to raise her daughter, educate her daughter on how and why this happened, but not live in it every day, not be taken down by it every day. And I wish her the best. But that was pretty much it on this episode of Iyanla Fix My Life. Y'all get down in the panty section. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it. Again, please keep it respectful because this is something that is still kind of new and it bothers, I'm sure it bothers some people, and we don't know who watching these videos. We know one thing: people do watch YouTube that you don't think watch YouTube. So I don't think my video will come across any of these people that are involved in this. um TVs, cell phones, or nothing like that. I don't think that it will. But just in the case that something does, I would like to be able to at least know that my comment section is not full of negativity because this was somebody life, this was somebody important to this woman, and he deserved to live, but he didn't because a cop didn't know what he was supposed to be doing. A cop was afraid because it seemed like these people are becoming police officers who were raised in homes where they equate blackness to everything negative. They don't see the positive side of anything. But that was it. That was all. Let me know what you think, y'all. The depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. I will be back for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Also, down in the description box, I will place the link for Bianca Brooks' campaign to be the lustrous new face of pink. The competition is still going on. You can vote every day up until May 19th. So please, please, please take the moment out each and every day within a 24-hour period to go in and vote for this lady, and hopefully she can win this thing this time. And we all gonna be one big happy family. How about that? I'll put it down below. All you need is a valid email. Ain't nobody gonna bother you. Ain't nobody gonna ask you to buy nothing or nothing. Just take a moment to support one of our own. That's all I ask. Whether you agree with everything she do or not, or everything she says or not, we need to start supporting our own. And this is just one of many ways you can do it. I'm out. Peace.